Something a little new today here. It's actually, my son encouraged me to vlog. Vlog. A lot of new words have come up in my day. Emoji. Vlog. Yeah, well, you guys all know about my blog, and that's exactly what this is. But yeah, we're gonna videotape this, and he thinks it's a good idea to put that out on social media as well. We're gonna start doing our Money Minutes as well every single day, and have a little fun. And you know what I'm gonna do as well? Why not? Why not? When there are major topics, things that are happening in news, things that are happening in the markets, I'm gonna start addressing them. I'm gonna start addressing them, and I'm gonna start posting them. We have a YouTube page. Again, on our Facebook fan page, which is tied to Twitter. We're going to get it out as best as we possibly can for everybody out there. But I want to start off today. Economic pessimism growing in the United States. It's growing. No shit. Hey, what did you think was going to happen when people are rolling into the gas station and they got to pay $6? Huh? What do you think? I gotta admit something here today. I've got two cars that I lease. My wife's car and the car that the kids use, and their leases are coming up. The leases are coming up. What are they like in December, January this year? And I was planning on just buying them out. Planning on buying them out at the end of the lease. Again, because still used cars have come down in price, but they're still very expensive. And, the buyout is less than the actual what I could sell it for. But I actually was perusing today some of the websites looking at SUV electric vehicles. Not a lot out there. Tesla tells you that theirs is not going to be ready at least until March of next year, and I don't know if I believe that, and that's $130,000. That's out of the question. I looked at various different brands, most of them, not available, and most of them getting 200 miles to the charge. And it's like they're proud of it. I don't get it. 200 miles to a charge. Completely, I can't do it. I can't do it. I got to go back and forth to my son's college. I got to go to lacrosse tournament. It's not going to happen. But anyway, economic pessimism growing in the United States. Why? Because of the stuff that people have to use, that people have to buy every single day is going through the roof. Period. The end. That is the reason why. That is why pessimism is growing in the United States. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. My wife goes to the grocery store almost every day. Almost every day, getting whatever we're going to have for dinner that day. She has this habit of asking me what I want for dinner at around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, are you kidding? You think I have any idea right now what I want to have to eat at that point in time? Again, my mind is on other things. But anyway, neither here nor there. And I see when she comes home, and she points, you're not going to believe what this cost. Yeah, that's the reality. That's why there's economic pessimism out there, because this is really hurting families around the country. So yesterday you had the big powwow between what was the movie, The Man Who Knew Too Little? How about the men and women that know too little? You had Biden and Powell. Biden and Powell having a little chit chat. Biden puts out an op-ed, yes, we discussed this yesterday, puts out an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, and he talks about his three-point plan. His three-point plan, again, he's not going to interfere with the Fed and Jay Powell. He's going to do stuff. Doesn't say what. I'm going to do everything in my power to lower costs for consumers. Doesn't give a single freaking specific thing that he is going to do. Then he also says he's going to get on these ocean freighters and these the expenses, how expensive the charges are here. And again, Joe, they got to buy fuel, buddy. They got to buy fuel. We also talked about the Jones Act here on the program as well. You might want to get rid of that. Would help with some of the pressure on shipping costs. But no. So that's Biden and his 3-point plan. Here you go. Here is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Jay Powell, what is he going to do? Yeah, he's got the dual mandate right now. And again, we have midterms. We have midterms coming up. And make no bones about it, the last thing in the world that this administration needs is for employment to start going in the opposite direction. That's the last thing in the world. And it was interesting yesterday, they made a point talking about the Fed and their dual mandate, and full employment was number one, inflation was number two. Now, do I think that the Fed is going to raise at the next two meetings? Yes. Am I not so sure about when we head into fall? No, I'm not so sure there. We're getting too close to the election. And then we have Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen, basically, she conceded that they were wrong about inflation. In all honesty, and the same thing with Jay Powell and the people at the Fed. You guys have one job. You have one thing you have to do. One thing. Anybody with half a brain knew what that $1.9 trillion stimulus package was going to do. Anybody knew it was happening. You could see what was happening, what was going to transpire. It was as plain as day. No, they didn't see it. That's their job. And to quote the Bobs from Office Space, what exactly do you say you do here? If you can't do this, go find work elsewhere. Just go find something else to do. So, this Treasury Secretary of the United States, she was wrong on the path of inflation. I was wrong. And she's being interviewed. I'm watching an interview with her today, this morning. Becky Quick, CNBC. Nice interview. Again, Becky didn't press her, though. Didn't press her. They actually got to the point about energy prices. And the Treasury Secretary of the United States of America doesn't understand supply and demand. Becky was asking, why not start, get pipelines going and do all of these things. And this, I'm going to paraphrase, but it's pretty close to a direct quote. You had the Treasury Secretary of the United States saying, oil trades on a global market. Okay, right. Then she went on to say that domestic production, increasing domestic production won't do anything to affect that. This is the Treasury Secretary of the United States saying that if you increase the supply of oil, it's going to do nothing when it comes to price. Treasury Secretary of the United States. Do you remember that rant that Jim Cramer went on back in, it was like 2008? When he was flipping out about what was going on, all of his calls are going bad, banks are going under, and he's screaming, he goes, they know nothing. He was, could say that now. You have a Treasury Secretary of the United States doesn't know shit. Doesn't know a damn thing. You don't understand supply and demand? Let me explain to you what would happen. I'm going to explain to you exactly what would happen if all of a sudden, the commander-in-chief there, that's my 3-point plan, if he decided to come out and say, you know what, we're going in a different direction. We can't, and you know what, you frame it. We can't, we got to help out the world. Putin is holding the world hostage right now. We can't let people starve. We've got to get energy out to all these countries. This is going to be a disaster. We're going to go in the opposite direction. Oh, I know that you'd hear the howling from all the climate crazies. We're going to open up Anwar. We're going to reauthorize the Keystone XL pipeline. We're going to reopen a lot of the nuclear power plants that have been decommissioned. You go right on down the line. You go in the exact opposite direction that you're going right now. What would happen, pure and plain and simple, is you'd see oil drop by at least $20 a barrel. At least, if not more. You would be signaling the world that, guess what? We are going to produce more. And I know well, it's not going to come out of the ground right away. Listen. You, not only that, you would see oil companies invest. It would be a complete change of direction. It's all, and again, it's an oil futures market. It's based upon the future. And if the people who trade oil see that there's going to be a much greater supply down the road in the future, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? And in reaction to the United States saying, hey, you know what? We're going to go out there and drill more and put more out. Guess what? Oh, yeah, you'd see the OPEC countries saying, holy shit, we got to get the price of oil down. We're going to have to start pumping more. We got to get as much out of the ground as possible to try to convince these American companies not to drill. And it would snowball, and the price would come down. What the Biden administration is saying, basically the Treasury Secretary of the United States said in her interview today, is, hey, there you go, America. There you go. As far as energy prices are concerned, you're on your own. Talk to Mayor Pete. Maybe get yourself an electric car if you can find one and if you can afford one. That's the reality. Is there anything else? No. Anyway, interesting, these stories. You got Thomas Friedman. Honestly, this guy, oh my God, he should write for Disney. He really should. He should go write fantasy or write for Disney. He has a piece today in the New York Times, Thomas Friedman. He's talking about how Europe has become, he calls Europe has become a fist. They've become a fist when it comes to Russia. And basically, what was the title of his column? Like, Russia didn't just invade Ukraine, they invaded Europe. And the Europeans are coming together and they are stronger now than ever before. What? Because Germany says they're going to increase their military capacity? I'm sorry, Tom. But when these countries tell us the check is in the mail, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wait to see if it actually arrives. And I'm going to be extraordinarily skeptical. Oh, I know. Oh, they're cutting off Russian oil and not going to be getting Russian oil and going to be making it more difficult for Russian oil tankers to come to Europe. They're still getting it through pipelines, though. They're still going to be getting that oil through pipelines. But anyway, here's a story. Russian oil producers stay one step ahead of sanctions. Gee, where'd you hear that? Oh yeah, here on this show. Europe just targeted Russian crude with its toughest sanctions yet, but shippers and refiners are getting the oil to market by obscuring its origins. Some fuels believed to be partially made from Russian crude landed in New York and New Jersey last month. The cargoes were bought through the Suez Canal and across the Atlantic from Indian refineries, which have been big buyers of Russian oil. Where'd you hear that? In the wake of the invasion of Ukraine and sanctions from the U.S. and the European Union, traders are working to obscure the origins of Russian oil to keep it flowing. Oh, and I know that's going to be really hard to do. So you got oil at $115 a barrel, and you're telling certain countries, again, you can pick it up for you can pick it up for $70. You actually think of people like, well, that's hurting Russia. Look at the prices. Prices come down. It's hurting Russia. Guys, are you kidding me? Do you really think it's? Let's put. I'll try to make it this way. It's hurt. If you had a faucet in your house, a faucet that spit out money. Let's say that faucet spit out $1,000 a minute. And all of a sudden, that faucet has been cut down to $700. Are you really hurting there? Is your situation really that dire? Nah. Not to mention the fact that $700 a minute was what it was spitting out a couple years ago. Anyway, I don't know who's got control of this guy. I really don't. I really don't have any idea who's running the show with this fella. But you're talking about Joe Biden going to the This is some of the most you could check. I mean, it's not hard to figure this out, that it's complete and utter BS. So Joe Biden, commencement address, Naval Academy. He tells a story about how Delaware Senator J. Caleb Boggs, who he ran against in 1972, had tried to get him into the Annapolis school even years before. And I quote, I'm not making this up. Before I begin my speech, a thought crossed my mind as I was told the class of 72 is here. I was appointed to the Academy in 1965 by a senator who I was running against in 1972. I didn't come to the Academy because I wanted to be a football star, the president continued, and you had a guy named Staubach and Bellino here, so I went to Delaware. The thing is, it's not possible. The 1965 date, it didn't make any sense. Biden was graduating from college then. The Naval Academy, you can't get appointed to the Naval Academy for graduate programs. It doesn't have any graduate programs. So he just decided to make the whole thing. Doesn't matter. I mean, you look at and you know, the same people will worship them. You see Hillary Clinton dodging sniper fire and Sarah. I can go on right on down the list. And both sides of the aisle do the same crap. 25% of Americans are delaying retirement due to inflation. 25% delaying retirement due to inflation. Doesn't surprise me the slightest. And again, this is 10 years ago? 10 years ago, when I kind of putting things together, retirement crisis white paper that's still, you can get it, it's available on our website at watchdogonwallstreet.com. We laid out the various different problems that many would-be retirees were going to have when it came to inflation. And some of the things we talked about is the idea that there wasn't any inflation out there. And, my point was, prices of food have gone up. Stuff that you have to use every day, going to Starbucks, going to the gym, things went up in price. And that's going to affect people. And not to mention the fact we got into just, quite frankly, demographics. And obviously this is all pre-COVID, where things have kind of got turned on their head. And also the opioid crisis we have in this country has kind of skewed the mortality numbers as well. But people are living longer and healthier lives. They're living longer and healthier lives. And many of these retirement programs and pensions and Social Security, they weren't designed. They weren't designed for 2 decades of retirement. They weren't designed for 2.5. They weren't designed for 3. That's for darn sure. And you're going to have to take this into consideration. And I say this again and again and again. I mean, what kind of life do you want to lead? Everybody's different. Everybody's situation is unique and different. And they talk about what you can spend during retirement. I mean, do you want to put yourself on such a wicked budget that it becomes oppressive after you've worked all of these years? Or maybe you work a couple days a week. Now, when they have this 25% or delaying retirement, I don't even like the phrase, quite honestly. I don't even really like the phrase. I don't think anybody should retire. You have to do something. You have to be productive. Once people stop being productive, in my experience, stuff starts going downhill. Mentally, physically, stuff starts going downhill. You need challenges in everyday life. Again, big believer, overcoming obstacles and achieving goals. Now, again, you might not want to, and I get it, okay? You might not want to have the same amount of, and trust me, okay? I've been doing this for a long time. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time. And weeks like last week, with all the tragedy and the things that are going on and the stuff that I got to cover, it weighs on you. It weighs on you. It beats the hell out of you. My wife, what's the matter with you? You're going to bed at what time? You're mentally drained. And I said, how many years can I do this for? I'll figure it out. Okay? It obviously won't be at the pace that I'm working at now, but that's okay. I'm not going to stop. God willing. As long as I enjoy it, as long as I'm able to help you, I'm going to continue to do it. Now, again, you might be a job, it might be a career, whatever it may be, that might be physically taxing. And there's plenty of them out there. You know what? Maybe you might want to go and say, hey, you know what? It's time for me to phase out of this, maybe sell my business. I don't know. Maybe go teach at a vocational school. Do something. And you don't have to do it 5 days of work. You work 2, work 3. But again, it gives you a bit of a buffer. Okay? See, you don't have to worry. You don't have to go out to dinner at 4:00 if you don't want to. But many people looking to retire like, holy crap. Holy crap, I wasn't expecting to spend $5.56 a gallon on gasoline. Let me ask you a question, just to all of you Biden voters out there, and I'm sure some would say yes. Knowing what you know now, okay, would you do it again? If someone were to tell you, in a little over a year, you're going to be paying $5-6 a gallon under Joe Biden, you sign up for that? Oh, I know. I know that you don't like bad orange, man. I get that mean tweets out there, and quite frankly, I didn't like them either. But, man, this is ugly. Shanghai, China opening up. How about that? After another 2 months of lockdown, Shanghai is starting to lift its COVID restrictions. Again, who knows when they're going to bring them back. Started dismantling fences around housing compounds and ripping down police tape. People are, I guess, protesting. They've had it. Actually, some news today. Apple started to move some of its production from China to Vietnam. Now, so they're hit by this, and again, it shows a lot about Xi Jinping and just how stubborn this guy is. I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to hold on at the end of the year. I really am. Securities and Exchange Commission imposed a $1.5 million penalty on Bank of New York Mellon for misstatements and omissions concerning its ESG governance, its environmental, social, and governance goals for various funds. Yeah, they I don't know, they were fudging the numbers and just how awesome they were and how green they were. The freaking SEC hire Kermit the Frog. It's not easy being green. Are you shitting me? All the crap, all of the scams that people are losing money left, right, and all over the place with one crypto scam, one after another, and you're concerned about Somebody's ESG score. Oh, boy. Geez, I can hardly wait for the SEC to crawl up my buttocks with a microscope over that, too. I don't think I have to do anything yet. But they keep going in this direction. I probably will. The lawyer, oh my God. And I got to, the right was just like right-wing porn. It's like right-wing porn. We covered it briefly here on the program. Michael Sussman, Hillary Clinton lawyer. Well, guess what? He was acquitted. John Durham, and all of the work that he had done going all the way back under the Trump administration. Here you go. Here is nothing. And some of the people are saying it's because rather than going after the FBI, he let the FBI off the hook and basically said the FBI was duped rather than being involved in the entire scam. I'm going to level with everybody here. I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of Hillary Clinton. I'm sick and tired of Donald Trump. Trump came out yesterday. The justice system in the United States is corrupt and all these things. We know that already. We know it's screwed up. For crying out loud, OJ got off. We know it's a mess. Thanks, Donald. But again, how many people would just love this? I thought of this. I don't know what it came to mind. You remember the movie Stripes? Remember the movie Stripes? They get a weekend pass and they go into town and they're at some bar. They're at some bar, and at that bar they have mud wrestling. And John Candy gets into the ring and he's got to wrestle these girls in bikinis. This big mud wrestling thing. It was just do it for charity or something like that. Just have Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, put them in a ring. Obviously have them, full body suits because I don't want to see that. And just have mud wrestle. Just see what happens. Just go in it. I don't care. Raise money for charity. And then after that, they just go away. They just go, it doesn't have to be for charity. Okay, they love money. They can split the profits. You put that on pay-per-view, that's gonna make more than most of those boxing matches or those Ultimate Fighter things that go on. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. Watchdog on WallStreet.com. We'll see you.